Thank you, Wei Ling. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Seperti apa yang telah dikongsi oleh Eric, my colleague this morning about the local government benchmark study is a JV between MacGDI and also Esri Malaysia, which is a very significant research because it's the first time happened in Malaysia. So, as you can see from the slide, those study has been categorized to the 6 sections. And pada hari ini, Azrina dan saya telah memilih 2 topik yang menarik perhatian kami, which is sustainability dan juga smart city. Okay. So salah satu yang menarik perhatian kami dalam kaji selidik ini ialah kebanyakan responden atau 100% responden mengakui yang GIS itu penting dalam sustainability. Actually, this is not really surprising because in PBT, pihak berkuasa tempatan planning department is the core user. And from this graph also, as you can see, it is followed by the environmental management. Okay, so kita juga boleh melihat penggunaan teknologi GIS terhadap tujuan lain. Contohnya teks. Walaupun 1%, tapi kita boleh nampak perkembangan penggunaan GIS terhadap fungsi lain. Jadi pada pemerhatian kami, Azrina dan saya, kita orang buat conclusion there is no awareness terhadap jabatan lain atau perception yang GIS itu hanyalah untuk planning department. Okay. Jadi untuk statistik yang kedua, where do you believe GIS technology can improve how your local government engage with citizen? Actually, this is related to the smart city atau lebih dikenali sebagai bandar pintar. Okay. Bandar pintar, okay. Banyak orang bercakap tentang bandar pintar, tapi saya pergi Google, apa tu bandar pintar. There are about 80 million hits about the bandar pintar. Dan kalau kita mengikuti National Transformasi Negara 2050, ianya adalah salah satu key driver. Smart City adalah salah satu key driver, dan daripada kaji selidik ini, ia mengatakan yang 93% GIS is very important usage toward the Smart City. So sekarang saya ingin mengaitkan kedua-dua perkara ini kepada evolution of GIS. Okay. I believe everybody is aware that PBT is responsible on the safe community, on the street cleanliness, and also on the traffic management. But we, Esri, which is the specialist, the leader in the local government, what we see is an evolution of how GIS being used in the local government atau PBT di Malaysia. Because like what I said earlier, mostly it is being used by the planning department, which is departmental operation. But that is like 4 decades ago, and nowadays we see that local government is getting creative on how they are using. They are opening up to other departments, to the communities, and also to the other organization. So as a local government, they always have to deliver more with less. Okay, so it's about how you want to re-engineer the way you use GIS towards your other organization. Okay, and that is only about how local government is doing the business. Let's take a look on the data, on the technology. Semakin ramai yang menggunakan smartphone. If we talk about data, data is only halfway or where we want to go. We have the data. A lot of people only just document it, but maybe there's no action, I don't know yet. But we know there's a pollution, we know there's a traffic, we know that the planet is dying, but do something about it. Take action on what we have, and that's where the GIS comes in. Okay, So I already talked about the challenges or the evolution in terms of the PBT, in terms of the data and also the technology. So let's talk about the reality that the population in Malaysia is growing, and for the next 20 years, there's no doubt it will be growing. And for sure, PBT akan have this kind of question to meet the demand of the public service. So perhaps the question that you might want to ask is, can you cope with the demand of the growth? I'm just showing on the population growth in Malaysia. Saya belum lagi menunjukkan statistik tentang perkembangan pesat yang berlaku di beberapa bandar di Malaysia. Okay. Okay. Dari semua tempat yang kami pergi, kami faham yang GIS sebenarnya bukan untuk menggantikan sistem yang sedia ada di PBT, tapi GIS ialah untuk melengkapkan apa yang sudah ada. Sebab kebanyakan every city, every community, they want to be smart. But for them to be smart is to start interacting with each other. Okay, I would like to quote this from a statement from Puan Asma, Bahagian Kerajaan Tempatan Pulau Pinang. I'm not so sure if she's here, but what she said is like everybody wants to be towards to the smart city, but not everybody can sustain. When you have an initiative, it's about continuous process. So how can you ensure that your initiative is for a long term? So with Esri, we have a complete platform for a smart city or a smart community. Okay. Bila Esri pergi see around the world, what we see, these are some of the example or initiative done by other local governments. Okay, and when they have aspiration, it is translate to the initiative, and this initiative is translate back to the smart apps, and this initiative is a ready-made template from the Esri platform. Okay, so I just would like to share some of the best practice or those cities that have used GIS for their smart cities. Like as you can see here is Singapore, Mazda City, Los Angeles, Honolulu, Hawaii, Gift City, India, Gujarat Information Financial Technology City, India, where Singapore used GIS Esri to map their smart city model, and also they give, like Los Angeles is using open data to open their data to the public. Okay, tadi saya ada bercakap tentang everybody has to start connecting if you want to move toward the smart city. So in Esri kita ada lebih daripada 150 smart apps yang mana ianya available for everybody, every organisation, every group, every community. Dan kami juga ada menyediakan template untuk local government. Okay. Okay, daripada kes smart cities yang saya tunjukkan tadi, seperti Singapore, Honolulu, Los Angeles, mereka sekarang berada di level 4 and level 5 of the GIS maturity model. So untuk PBT yang menginginkan smart city atau bandar pintar terhadap bandar mereka, is like, where are you now? Di manakah organisasi anda sekarang untuk berada pada di masa hadapan? So ini adalah graf yang saya boleh tunjukkan. Jadi sekarang saya akan pass the show to Azlina to show some of the demo about the smart cities in terms of the Singapore. Okay?
Okay, Thank you, Kartini. So as mentioned just now, Kartini mentions that they have all over the world talking about how they have an inspiration to have a smart cities, and they are moving forward to have a lot of aspiration and do a framework of smart cities. So what I'm going to share with you is some of the example which is you can take away from these sessions and maybe use the ideas to actually make use of the ideas to apply it in your organizations. So one of the example which is how Land Authority Singapore, Singapore Land Authority, which is they make use of, they have embarked with a journey to actually become a smart nation, to develop a very good and better living standard. So they actually have an aspiration or initiative to actually to create and to maintain an authoritative 3D maps. So the previous one, they have an application we call One Map Singapore, which is you can see is the 2D maps, which is MacGDI also have created the similar of One Malaysia maps, but they have actually improved and enhanced the applications to have another application which is they call it as Where to SG, whereby when you go to Singapore, you can apply and you can search for an interesting places or nearby where are you now in Singapore. So if you can see here, so this is the 3D view of the whole Singapore. Okay. So this is the 2D maps and we can see the 3D. And the 3D, actually, they have actually improvised to use a spec of 3D, which is we use when we are watching 3D movie at the cinema. Okay. So in this application, they actually collaborate with the all agency to actually provide the informations. Like for instance, when I in here, okay, so they will be within this kilometer, so we can see what kind of amenities, informations. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we can see in these locations nearby within about 1 kilometer, we can see a lot of amenities like ATM, car park, and many others. So for all over city in Malaysia, like for instance Kuala Lumpur, if you go to Kuala Lumpur, you need to know what kind of amenities or facilities when you are in KLCC, how many car parks or how many like taxi stand they can find within them. So we get use of viewing the 2D maps, but now we enhance to actually visualizing in 3D. Another example, which is I have an application of how New York City actually have a initiative to monitoring their traffic conditions. And you can see they have lots of location of their camera in surrounding your cities. So you can see they're feeding the real-time feeds, okay, for each of locations. So right now, because we are Malaysia, we are in the afternoon, so they are actually at night. So you can see this is the real time of traffic. Another one which is I have example of how we can actually create an application of waste management system, which is they call it, this is an example from Canada, which is Canada Municipal create a government services, which they can know, okay, in my locations or in my hometown or residential area. So when they will pick up all the waste Okay, whether they have a different kind of bin, black bin, blue bin, and green bin. And then you can see they have other informations, for instance, the transit stations, the waste transfer stations, and the libraries actually nearby to the location of their neighborhoods. Another one, which is how, as similar as what my colleague Ying present, which is they are showing that this is the purpose of 3D maps, okay, and then this is as built of your, which is right now we have already applying how we creating or planning our city. So you can make use of the technology 3D to visualize what you propose and what is as built. So Esri, as Kartini mentioned, we have 150 over templates that you can actually apply today. You just choose one or two which is suit your aspiration or suit with your roadmaps, and we actually like to assist you. As Kartini mentions, you make use of all your infrastructure current, not really to actually buy new things, but look at whatever that in your infrastructure and improvise it and then improve whatever you have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Aslina and Kartini. Does anyone have any question for them? Yes.
Yes, actually this question is, actually I'm attracted with just now the Miss Kartini is showing the smart cities. Can you please share more with us about how Singapore is using the smart cities in terms of city planning? Because most of your example is actually overseas, which is very far. Maybe we just focus in what Singapore is using your capabilities in making a better or the smart place.
Okay. Thank you for the questions. Sorry, I can.
Thank you, Madam Chu, from
Madam Chu,
MCT.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. For the questions, we going back to the initiative of coming from Singapore. Just now you have mentioned how actually Singapore applying the technology, how they use the GIS technology to help them, especially on their land or their planning of their cities. So if you can see, they are starting off with, they have a collaboration within all the agency, how they actually starting with the planning, and which is planning in parallel actually involving with the other departments. Okay, when we so within them, they're actually sharing all the planning maps, and then they actually improve and enhance on top of whatever that the land planning, the land use map, and many others, and then make use of the information to share it among the organizations. And also, they actually provide, like for instance, the information back to the citizen, like as similar as I think some of the city already done it, like Penang have done it, I think Negeri Sembilan have done it, whereby they're sharing the information to the citizen back by secure the informations, okay, and make use of the information to everybody to use it. I hope that's answer your questions. Okay.
Does it answer your question, Madam? Okay, Flo.
Yes, because actually this kind of mapping, sharing information, I think is at the very basic.
Okay.
I'm more interested to know about how they use this in their city planning. And just now you say about the 3D modeling.
Okay.
Oh, those is, yes, we have all this. It's not only for showcase to public. It must be some
Yes.
purpose. So what is, can you explain from the more technical terms, how can we utilize this? If we are a local government, today we're buying your software.
Okay.
So yeah, what we will get?
All right. Okay. I guess everybody have all the building footprints, whereby you actually already digitize it and make use and display all as a 2D maps. So in order you to actually transform from your 2D to 3D maps, of course you need to have like the height of the building informations or the other informations that contribute as a 3D visualizations formations. So what Singapore did is actually they have an initiative whereby they are collecting all the informations to come up with a 3D. As what we have shown you, I think in our technical streams, using the ArcGIS Pro, okay, you can easily draw your footprints and and extrude the building footprints, okay, to come up the 3D maps as beauty as these maps. And by using the city engine, you can actually make use of all the rules inside the city engine to make it the building more realistic, as similar as what my colleague showing you just now in Zootopia City, whereby they have like similar like realistic city, which is they're creating a lot of features inside their building. So when they actually make use, like for instance, this map, okay, you can see this is the 3D. But you can see not only building, but they can see, okay, they have a construction in here. So the neighborhood surrounding in here, or me as a citizen, can know that, okay, they have a construction in here, definitely there will be a congested area in here. So I can move forward to plan. Okay, what's next? So if this area have a project and they have a congested in terms of the traffics, so I can make plan and move to another road, okay, and plan further, okay, if the project would take like 2 years, so maybe I can plan further, okay, for the 2 years, I'm using the different road instead of using as usual road. So it means that there's not only building, but they're creating the 3D with the other features like trees, water features, and putting some like the construction area to make it better visualized for the citizen. Okay, any questions?
Okay,
I
one
hope
more last question.
I'm answering your questions, madam.
Yes.
Hello. Okay, I have one question.
Okay.
Okay. First, can you give some example that how GIS can engage the citizen? Because at the first slide you said that GIS is only for the town planning. So how the Esri can encourage the citizen to use the GIS? Because to make sure that GIS is for everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think from
Demo. I think for that we can show some citizen engagement demo
Okay.
if it's possible.
all right. So thank you for the question. So the question is how Esri help to actually provide a platform to our citizens to start engage with us. Okay, as citizens, definitely maybe they heard about GIS, but they're not sure whether what they have visualized it is really GIS or not. Okay, the important thing is the information that you're giving to citizens. So for example, just now, when I'm showing you how the Canadian municipal government provide the services back to the citizens. They get the information. At the same time, they actually provide a feedback, which is, for example, a complaint or many others, information back to the local council or their municipal. And another which is, as similar like One Singapore map, you can see they have a lot of query that actually citizen can actually make use of, and they can actually provide a feedback back to the local councils, okay, whether the information is relevant to them or give benefit back to them. And a very good example whereby Paddy's itself, as this morning, they share you how actually they interact with the citizen by provide a lot of application to them to contribute. Like for example, the photo of Penang, the informations of all photos that related to Penang, and also the location of the best places that you can find in Penang. So that is something example that you can actually make use of to create the application or the solution or the templates that we have ready to use by using your informations. I hope that answer your questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Kartini and Slina.